Hey guys, Joe here. This is the Joe Madden Sports Show. I am joined by Wes from SoBets, the head of growth over there. We're going to be talking bets for tonight and this weekend. Wes, how's the day starting for you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me back on. It's always fun hanging out with you, Joe.
Yeah, and happy Friday, by the way. Look at all the sports we have on the board. Yesterday, the sports equinox was a fantastic day.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a ton going on. Excited for this weekend. A lot of good college games, a lot of good NFL games, a lot of good opportunity to make some money, right?
Absolutely, there is. Before we jump into what games you're liking for tonight and this weekend, can you tell everyone a little bit about SoBets and what's happening as of late?
Yeah, absolutely. SoBet, we're a social media platform, just focus on sports betting, sports content creators. Come to the platform, centralized feed, kind of like TikTok, Instagram, easy to digest. People are putting up great bet tickets, information on games, analysis, data, anything that you need to make your pick for the weekend. You'll find it on SoBet for $9.95. Great price point. Come in, check out all the influencers and content creators, as well as the handicappers that we have. We got 26 different cappers on the platform. For $9.95, you get all their information. So come check it out, SoBet.io. And I'm telling you, it's definitely worth the bang for your buck.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit more than a daily Starbucks coffee, or just for that one day. Okay, Wes. It's crazy. $9.99. I spend $7 on my Starbucks coffee daily. So it is a fantastic deal there. Let's talk some NBA for tonight. So far, what have you thought of the season? You know, we've seen some lower scoring and some higher scoring games. You know, these totals been all over. Any takeaways so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a good kind of first week into the season. We've seen a lot of the big time clubs come out. I mean, that opening day with the Warriors Lakers, I kind of had a prediction on that. The Lakers still need to figure out what the hell they're doing. That team still hasn't made any progress, it seems like. And the Warriors came out hot. They kind of dominated that whole entire game. I was actually on that under, and it looked like it was going to cash till like the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then they just blew it open. So I've actually come out a little bit of a loser after this first week, but I'm excited. I'm just kind of getting my bearings straight, getting a feel for the NBA season. And honestly, NBA is probably one of my most profitable seasons. So just trying to figure out how teams are coming out of this first week and kind of like the preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. These teams need to get in the groove. Hopefully the Nets can do better defensively than we saw against the Pelicans. They couldn't get a rebound to save their lives in that game. Hard to predict how they'll come out right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just finding that chemistry, finding each other's kind of grooves. I think it takes about like a week or two for them to actually really start playing at this high level of competition again, for them to actually get back into the swing of things. So I think like we'll see a lot more chemistry out of these teams coming in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got 11 games on the court tonight. Is there one in particular that you have an eye on?
I actually like this Spurs game. There's been some reverse line movement. Indiana came in at -3. That's the opening line, and it's down to 1.5. But 75% of the public's on the Pacers. So I haven't really dove really deep, but just from first glance at it, it's kind of like a no-brainer to me, at least to sprinkle some money on the Spurs at +1.5 right now. That's
Yeah.
kind of like that would be kind of my biggest bet of the NBA for today. But I also do like the Wizards tonight against the Bulls at home. They're favored too. So those are probably my two picks of the day in NBA right now.
Yeah, the Wizards only laying 2.5 there against the Chicago Bulls. So that's going to be definitely quite the matchup. I like what we're seeing out of Chicago so far. Lots of the money coming in on Chicago, though, makes me want to take the Wizards with you.
Yeah, and the Wizards opened up at -1, and it's at 2.5 now, with the public money coming in on the Bulls. So it seems very odd. Obviously, Vegas knows a little bit more than we do, but try to stay on the side of Vegas most often than none.
Well, Vegas is around for one reason, and that's
Yeah.
because Vegas tends to win. Let's look at some college football for this weekend. This college football season is just rolling. We're in week 8 already. I can't believe it's already happened. Um, it's going way too fast for my liking.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. In the blink of an eye, it's already week 8, week 7 in the NFL. A lot of exciting stuff going on. After last week, that Bama game kind of crushed me. I
I
was
bet it
riding
did.
high on Bama, but we'll see. I think I need a bounce back week heading into this slate. There's a lot of good games going on too. A lot of like conference games. The game I'm really looking at is this LSU game.
Okay.
I think LSU's kind of in my opinion, a lock in this situation. They're favorite at home. It's up to -3 now. Ole Miss is number 7 in the country. Baton Rouge is always a hard place to come in to play at Death Valley. So I'm kind of laying my money on LSU. I think that's going to be my biggest play of the day. But what do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. We know Old Miss is rolling in here 7-0 on the season. High hopes for them for this season, but they're only
Mhm.
3-4 against that spread. I don't know if they can get it done against LSU. I'm with you on this. I think LSU just comes in as the stronger team here. Home team trends are strong for these two, going 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 meetings. What I'm thinking is probably that over 65.5. I can see the points really coming in on this one.
I agree too. I mean, I think LSU's had some trouble on defense. Ole Miss does air the ball out a little bit. So, and Lane Kiffin is always kind of taking some risks. So I could see this being a really high scoring game. LSU kind of pulling it out at the end. They have the backing of the home field advantage. And LSU starting to get in a groove. They're clicking, seem to be getting hot at the right time after opening up with that Florida State loss. But it seems like they've kind of figured it out down there in Louisiana. So I'm kind of riding LSU in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I can't wait for college football tomorrow. We've got so much action between college football, NBA, NHL. I know you're not the biggest of hockey fans, but I'm excited for it to be back, Wes.
Oh, I'm a Rangers fan, so I'm excited to see my
Okay.
Rangers. So that's the high team I've been on. I've rode them the last couple of nights that they've played. They've actually been profitable. So I'm just looking for a Ranger Stanley Cup. It was a little disappointing last season, losing to the Lightning,
Yeah.
but I think they have a squad this year to make another Stanley Cup run.
They absolutely do. They're looking for a strong season for sure. So, best of luck to your Rangers. Let's talk some NFL football this weekend. We had a Thursday night football that actually went over the total.
Yeah.
That was nice to see. We actually had a game out there.
I know. And it seemed like Kyler Murray showed up. He kind of put on a performance as we've been anticipating all season. And I mean, Andy Dalton with the 2 pick sixes, the one right before the half. I mean, that was just rough. I was on the Saints last night, +2.5. I thought they would actually make it a ball game. They actually came back towards the end, but like Andy kind of just shot them in the foot. So
Yeah.
I think this NFL slate this weekend is going to be super exciting. Obviously, I was talking to you before the game before this show. I'm really excited for this Jags game. I think the public's really high on the Giants after last week, rightfully so. I mean, the Giants have come out, blown people's expectations out of the water, but I think the Jags come out with a pass heavy offense. Giants have had trouble stopping the pass on defense. They rank in the bottom 10 in pass defense this year. And the Jags defense also is really good against the run. And if they stop Saquon, that's their biggest playmaker right now. If Saquon doesn't get going, then the Giants really lack in other options and weapons. So I'm riding the Jags money line pretty heavy this weekend.
Wes, what are your thoughts on Daniel Jones?
On DJ, I just don't think he's it. I think the Giants have given him a lot of good opportunities. Obviously, he struggled because they've had a terrible offensive line. He doesn't have the receivers. Sterling Shepard is not a number one receiver. Obviously he's hurt now, but that's been their number one for like the last couple of years. I think after this year, they need to try to draft somebody or try to move on from DJ at this point. I think he could be a very good backup quarterback in the NFL, but I just don't think he's it.
Lots of people's sentiments on Daniel Jones. I feel for the guy because they are 5-1 on the season and everyone still feels this way about him. It would be pretty incredible to see what a quarterback like Lamar Jackson could do with this sort of team. Let's talk. I want to know if you have any thoughts on the New York Jets and the Denver Broncos. We've seen the Broncos completely struggle with Russell Wilson. The Jets with Zach Wilson have done phenomenal. They're sitting 4-2 on the season. No one expected this Jets team to do so well. They're +1 here. We're seeing so much money come in for the Jets. Are you feeling like this is kind of a trap game?
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been high on the Jets this season too. I mean, they've done a great job. Their offensive weapons have been great. Braxton Berrios playing really well. The receivers have been doing a phenomenal job helping out Zach. Their defense has been playing great, locking down some good offenses. But I think I have to back Denver as much as it like really bothers me.
Right?
It really does hurt, but like it just doesn't make sense. So it seems very trappy and very sketchy to me that I have to put it's where the smart money is. So I think I have to back Denver as much as I don't want to. I think I just got to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at earlier. It was like I take Denver or I just completely stay off this. Everyone and their dog is now rooting for the Jets to get the win.
But Denver on paper isn't that bad. Their defense has been playing very well. That's what's been keeping them in games. Their secondary is really good with Pat Surtain. I mean, as long as the defense shows up and Russ makes a couple good decisions, they do have a very strong receiver core. It's just a matter of Russ getting them the ball, and that's been the biggest struggle this season. Russ just missing options downfield, kind of taking unnecessary sacks or throwing the ball away unnecessarily when he has an open receiver. So it really comes down to how much Russ wants to win this game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And that coaching, how much they let Russ get out there and make some of these calls. Wes, was there any other games that you're looking at for a Sunday slate in the NFL?
I think those are the two biggest ones that I'm really kind of hyped on. But no, there's a lot of good games. I mean, the Tennessee Colts game should be interesting. I don't know if you have any takes on that, but I kind of wanted to back the Colts. Matt Ryan seems to have the offense clicking. Tennessee's been also on a very good hot streak. That I think that division has been pretty good in terms of some expectations. I mean, I think I want to take the Colts in this game. They already lost to Tennessee once at home this season. They kind of blew that game. Jason Taylor kind of fumbling on like the 2-yard line, heading towards the kind of in the fourth quarter. So I kind of want to back the Colts in a revenge game there.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that because I think with the aerial attack Matt Ryan and the Colts can bring, I think the Tennessee Titans secondary can be exposed here. I think they just don't have the defense in that secondary to shut down the Colts. So I like them here on the money line straight up.
I agree. And then I know that you're talking about the Lions. We could get into that as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the Lions taking on the Cowboys here. 6.5-point dogs for the Lions. I'm seeing 7.5s on some books. Everyone loving Dak coming back for the Cowboys. What are you liking, Wes?
I think they should stick with Cooper Rush. He hasn't done a bad job, but obviously after last week, it kind of like put the nail in the coffin for that, I think. But I like some of the stats that you were throwing at me before on the Lions. I do like the Lions. I mean, as long as Jared Goff has time and opportunity to get the ball down the field, that man could sling it. So I think he gets his receiver crew going. I think Lions can make this a ball game for sure. They're definitely been playing hungry this year. Definitely a change of pace from last season, even though last season they lost a ton of games by like a 2-point margin. So I think Dan Campbell has the team on the right path, and I think they could upset the Cowboys this weekend.
Yeah, I'm with you too. You guys, if you look back at the Cowboys off a bye, which they're off since 2010, they've gone 8-3-1 straight up, hitting 72.7% of their games on the money line. Also against the spread since 2010, they are 10-2. So I'm taking them plus the points with the sprinkle on that money line. Remember, Jared Goff gets back St. Brown and DeAndre Smith here in this one. My only concern is Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys. He is lights out defensively. If the Lions win this one, I think it's going to be a lower scoring one, even though they trend to that over when these two meet up. So it's going to be a hard one. But I think the Lions have every opportunity off that bye.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a good one. Hopefully, Jared pulls it out. But
let's hope so. I'm with you, though. Cooper Rush should stay in there. I think this is not the place for Dak Prescott to come back, but I'm not the coach, so
yeah,
I can't make that call.
He's done a great job with the team, so I think he deserves the opportunity. But in any other news, what do you think about Christian McCaffrey going to the Niners?
I don't know if I love it, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. I think they gave up so much to get him. Is he worth it, Wes?
I think they're trying to make a statement and by saying this is their year to capture an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, which I don't disagree with. You just adds another component, another weapon to that offense for Jimmy G. Yep. With Debo, I mean, I think he could be a problem. So I kind of like it for the immediate future, but long term, I think it could be detrimental to the team.
Yeah, long term, this team needs to build stronger and not give away those picks. I don't know. Is Jimmy G the quarterback to get them there? Everyone was so down on Jimmy G. Now they're saying adding these weapons can get them there. I don't know.
We shall see.
We shall see. Well, on that note, Wes, can you remind everyone where to find you, where to find everything that's happening at SoBets?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, check us out on Instagram at SoBet_app. Or go to our website, sobet.io. There you could sign up. That gives you access to 26 cappers, all their analysis, all their picks, all their reviews, a lot of cool content there. Just a great community to be a part of. So go check out SoBet, $9.95 a month. Well worth it.
Absolutely. Wes, thank you so much for joining me here on the Joe Madden Sports Show. I want to thank everyone for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and let's make some freaking money this weekend. Thanks, Wes.
Definitely. Thank you, Joe.